Hey guys, and welcome back to Pikmin 3. In the last day, we saved Brittany, we encountered the rock Pikmin, we gathered some fruits, and we even got a cell phone with no service. But in this day, we're going to be using that cell phone because Alf is an engineer, and he's going to use that signal to see where it goes out to. Now we're going to be able to have access to the distant tundra.
Up in Canada, I'm gonna guess.
Yes, assuming so. Come on, Brittany, be nicer to Alf. After all, we still have to find Captain Charlie, which I like by the image is just him collapsed in the snow.
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Now that we have two characters, when we're able to check in, the characters are able to have conversations. In the last day when I did it, we were only able to have that one line of dialogue, so if I hit check in again, he would just repeat himself. But now that you have Brittany, you can actually check in multiple times, and they'll have a different conversation every single time. You'll have a little bit of insight of each character, like that's where you'll learn that Alf's grandfather designed the SS Drake. Brittany absolutely likes to sneak drinks behind their backs because you hear her thoughts. And we're gonna head to the distant tundra.
If Brittany doesn't like the taste of carrots, which is one of the sweeter vegetables, I'd love to see her try celery.
You hand her a vegetable and she grabs it and then she just snaps it over her knee and throws it away. So even though we just got her, we're gonna lose her. This game doesn't want us to succeed.
But we're going to anyway. Alfie?
Yeah, Brittany refers to Alf as Alfie. She's the only one that does that. I think the implication may be that she thinks he's cute. So for you fanfic writers out there, you can in fact ship Brittany with Success, or Alf, I guess.
Brittany? Those are your two choices.
I'm the leader of the Pikmin fanfiction community, so... Alright, so we get reintroduced to the Yellows. In Pikmin 2, they were able to break down electric gates. Here, they're able to actually conduct electricity to themselves through these little batteries here. They send the electricity to the light bulbs, which reactivates the onion. And also, it automatically sprouts them into flowers. I haven't touched upon this yet, but all of the Pikmin, when they're first born, have leaves. And then they're able to evolve into Pikmin with flower buds, and then with fully sprouted flowers. That's very useful, raising up their maturity, because doing so makes the Pikmin faster and they can keep up with you better. It also makes them slightly stronger. So, we're going to be having a little mini tutorial here with our Yellows again.
Getting smacked against the wall.
Yeah, if you remember when Charlie was here, we had a squad of 30 yellow Pikmin, but when Brittany got here, the onion was deactivated and there was only 5. Which seems to be the implication that those Pikmin did in fact die, and faced near extinction. Your Pikmin can absolutely go extinct, by the way. If you ever run completely out of Pikmin, I mean not even stored in your onion, you automatically lose, and you go to the next day. And the next day you come back, it'll sprout out 1 seed, which allows you to recoup your losses. I've never had that happen before because I'd rather just restart a day. Which, in this game, is far easier than the last game. You can literally just, if you're having a terrible day, or it didn't work out the way you planned, you can pause the menu and literally restart the day. And a new feature that you can do specifically in 3 is that you can actually go further than the previous day. So if you just had like a really bad playthrough, but you kept pushing, and you were like, never mind, you could literally start from like day 35 and go back to 2 if you felt like it. So that's going to be one of our new puzzles we push over, those little balls. It's pretty clear that the amount of Pikmin you need is going to be with the number labeled on it.
Thank God Roman numerals are universal, I guess.
Yeah. Even in the galaxy. What I like is the implication is that Alf landed and he didn't know what to do at all. He just sat there.
Just stood on the bridge somewhere beyond the sea.
I also like that he waves over to you.
Yeah.
And he's not holding the pad, so I'm assuming it's floating in front of him.
Just on the tripod.
Yeah. You just see it fall over into the lake. Ah, shit! So I'll say this, the distant tundra, I don't hate it, but it's not one of my favorite locations. Also, they casually mention death, which they actually did in Pikmin 2, that's not a new thing. Actually, all the Pikmin games reference death. Rated E for everyone. So we have our friend here, the swooping snitch bug, a staple in Pikmin. They actually got buffed in this game. As opposed to just swooping in and grabbing your Pikmin, they can actually grab your leaders and throw them now.
So we don't have the fatter guys that specifically do that.
Nah, they just got rid of them. They don't even appear in this game. Now that we have the yellow Pikmin working on that wall, we can't actually access the SS Drake with Brittany. So what we need to do is build a bridge that connects both sides. So here we're going to see a pretty big example of dividing our work. Here, literally, because you can't do it anywhere else. There's a cherry up there that I'm assuming they wanted you to get with a yellow Pikmin, but you can just throw a red or rock Pikmin high up enough and you'll just climb the little hill. So, here's what I was talking about with breaking the wall in a better way. If you just charge and you call them and charge again, they're going to easily break the wall. Here we have the Joust Bite, which I didn't do great here with that fight because I lost a red, but that's okay. The reason being is because I'm actually showing you normal gameplay on top of a trick that I wanted to demonstrate. And we'll be seeing that trick really soon. If you remember in Pikmin 2, I was pretty fond of like doing things like letting purples reach areas that only yellows can, and stuff like that. We have similar things like that, but not nearly on the same scale of like, wow, this actually totally like snaps the game in two.
Sequences are less broken this time.
Yeah, like, it's less like, oh wow, like I completely avoided a thing that I needed other Pikmin for, and it's more of like, here's a neat thing you can do. We're gonna kill this other Joust Mite. This is basically how you're supposed to do it, because they can't actually pierce the rock Pikmin. You're supposed to basically throw one, and then just attack the back. I'm doing very poorly here, but because the trick involves me basically skipping something, I'm going to show you the trick, and then I'm going to show you the intended way you're supposed to do it. And for the sake of this Let's Play, I'm going to stick with the intended way. Unless it's like a tiny thing like the cherry, where it's like, well, it doesn't really matter. And that's a neat little thing we're going to pick up right now.
A recorder.
Yeah! We can totally annoy enemies by having the Pikmin play it.
And elementary school kids.
Yeah! It'll make them think they're talented for some reason. So I threw the red Pikmin after when they climbed the stick, I threw them up there, so that way they can do something for me. If you noticed, I haven't even started on that bridge yet, because the trick actually doesn't involve the bridge. So I call the red Pikmin that are nearby, and then I lock onto the grapes, and I have the red Pikmin start on the grapes. And that's how you get the grapes early. That's not the trick, that's just one of them. But basically, you're supposed to wait until you finish the bridge, so that way you can throw one of your leaders up there, and then they use their Pikmin to command. But because you have the ability to lock on, you can just throw some reds and have them go over there. Because this is a Wii U title, Nintendo will never ever 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 update that, so do it as much as you'd like. Unless they, like, they re-release this game on Switch and they patch it out.
But who knows if they'll remember.
Who knows? I would like to see this game on Switch. I'm sure they can do it, co-pad and all.
They probably only would need to zoom in on this screen.
Yeah, and if they can do Mario Maker 2 without the touchscreen, they can do those.
Yeah.
So, much like Pikmin 2, we can actually get upgrades, but not only just suit upgrades, but this is an upgrade that affects both the Pikmin and the leaders. This is the dodge whistle. I honestly don't really use it all that much, and sometimes I forget I have it, but it is kind of neat. For the trick to work, we actually do need this. So what it does is that it enables everybody who is currently in the party. So for example, Alf and our red Pikmin, like I'm going to demonstrate in a second. And basically, if we touch the right D-pad, we and the Pikmin roll to the right and roll to the left. Great for like a quick escape, but again, not like super useful. But still handy. I'm also going to go ahead and pick up this data file because again we see more Olimar cameos. And he's been leaving data files, so he's somewhere around here.
I was about to say, another visual difference between Pocotations and these guys is their eyes, but I think Brittany has the same tiny eyes that Olimar has.
Her eyes are at least always open, as opposed to being slanted like everybody, except the president, I believe.
So it's really not a visual difference.
It depends. Because I don't know if all of the Hokotatians have the same eye thing that Olimar does. I know Louis does, but at least his eyes sprout open, and Olimar does too when he gets surprised. So here's our new version of a Bulborb, the Whip Tongue. These guys are annoying because their tongue could like snatch up a few of your Pikmin at once, and it looks kind of creepy. But thankfully I took care of that. But don't worry, we'll be seeing him again. Because I'm just currently clearing the enemies, so that way I can get the trick to work. So now that we have the dodge whistle and now that we're around here, I'm going to show you something you're not supposed to do. So I'm going to take my yellows up here, and if you can see where that X is on the right, it's a little obscured by now, but you see that? That's one of the areas where you throw one of your leaders. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use your leader to throw another one up there, so that way they can come up here with their Pikmin, get the cherry, and also knock this 20 over. But before I can get to that, explaining what I just did, here's a message you get warning you that, hey, your Pikmin can't cross, because I didn't intend for him to grab that pellet. I wasn't trying, that bridge is not done yet. Basically, using the dodge whistle, I'm able to go out of bounds, and Nintendo knew that you could totally screw that. Like, they can actually be like, hey, don't do that, because the Pikmin will stop, but if you just angle yourself just right and throw the Pikmin, you can basically skip having to build the bridge and go on later ahead and further. So what you want to do for the trick is you kind of want to be parallel to one of the stalks of grass right there. When you use the dodge whistle, like right near the snow hill, you kind of want to hold down and right. It kind of takes a bit of practice. According to the world record holder for the All Fruit speedrun, Jayhawk4, he says that it's probably one of the hardest tricks to learn. So the fact that I even got it on my first try is complete luck, because in real life it took me about a half hour to actually get. So you just kind of got to finagle it and you got to get used to it. Basically, just keep throwing yourself at the hill until you get up there. This actually doesn't have much application for the Let's Play. I just wanted to show that off. That being said, I'm going to show you the way you're supposed to do it. We already went ahead and had the yellow Pikmin take down the wall, and while Alf and his team are working on their project, I'm going to go and show you where the other bridge pieces are, because you have to not only get the red bridge done, you also have to get the blue bridge done. You have to be careful when you get off that mushroom, by the way, because your Pikmin will automatically, as soon as they land, start grabbing the bridge pieces. Not a good idea, especially since that crystal's in the way. If you notice, there are a couple of Joust Mites here, so if they actually grabbed the pieces, they would have went around the other way, and the Joust Mites would have attacked them. You do not want your Pikmin to be attacked or interrupted because that will basically undo the action, and the bridge piece will actually disappear from their hand like in a puff of smoke. And that sucks, because you basically have to go back and grab the bridge pieces again.
Yeah, they go back to where they were originally. They don't just disappear forever.
Yeah, it's really obnoxious. So yeah, basically the trick was I used the dodge whistle, and I was able to climb up part of the map in order to get out of bounds in a way. The application it has is purely for speedrunning only, so it's not going to do much or casual. I did a quick cut there because I already got that data file. It's not really useful, nor did it really save me much time when I was trying to experiment with it. So, as we all know, the yellow Pikmin, they're immune to electricity and they can conduct it. Same with the reds, how they don't get affected by the blowhogs. Electric enemies don't do anything to them. It was really useful to get the electric gate down, so that way they can just easily access the ship. I also went ahead, and I believe I prepared enough to do the grape trick again. I'm still aiming to get all the fruits. There we go. So now that we have the blue bridge done, we just have to get the rest of the parts for the red bridge. But in order to divide work and gather more things, I'm sending more red Pikmin to Brittany's side. So you're wondering, hey, Alpha's all the way over there, aren't you supposed to throw the Pikmin to the other side? And the correct answer is yes. So we're gonna head over there.
Anyway, so we're not going to.
Yeah, so we're not gonna use Alf. So I'm gonna call them over here to me anyway. But hey, we got new fruit! And also the red Pikmin is drowning. So much like fire, these are not blue Pikmin, so they can't handle the water and they start to drown. But before we can even save them, the game's gonna let me know that they're drowning first and give me a really neat diagram of a drowning Pikmin, while my real Pikmin die. But yeah, you can also just whistle them over, so that's why I didn't throw Alpha over there. I cut ahead to when I kill this thing again, and now we're gonna do it the legitimate way.
Thankfully, the cannon larvae don't shoot out rocks this time, just snowballs that grab the Pikmin and knock him against the walls, so it's not an instant kill now.
Yeah. I don't believe they actually can die, unless... at least in the attempts I had, I didn't have any of my Pikmin die because of the snowball. According to that, Brittany thinks that it looks a lot like her captain, Charlie. But then we also have a data file from Olimar, who says that that looks a lot like the president.
I'm snow! I'm a cold bitch.
So, if it's not made clear, yes, Olimar is on this planet. Why is he here again after saving his company from debt? We'll find out a little later. So, now that we cleared the enemies and we got that data file, I want to get this fruit, and I also want to finish building that bridge. The reason why the trick doesn't really... the out-of-bounds trick doesn't really help all that much is because when you gather fruits later on, because you saw when the ball rolled into that cavern and we add a new area, there's more fruit and there's more things to explore further in there. And at the current state we're in, our Pikmin are not able to get to the SS Drake. So even if I did that, and even if I kept that trick and I went further ahead, and I even cleared the other area to have the Pikmin grab what I need and bring it to the ship, simply there's just not enough time to accomplish all of that. The bridge is a necessity. You have to do it. So now that we finally...
This dude's standing in the back like, yeah, carry yourself, jackass.
We don't care. So, now that we have the bridge complete, now we're able to transfer all the other fruits. That's why I had that one fruit just kind of hanging there for a little bit. I just knocked it off. While the Pikmin go and grab our second cherry, as well as I believe it's a kumquat.
I'm glad you know, because I have no idea.
At least I hope it's a kumquat. Unless the comments are like, actually, Yoshi, it's a squiggly spooch. I'll go like, you know what, you're right.
That's an organ.
I'm glad you understood.
I'm looking it up, I think it's a kumquat.
Alright, cool. Now that we have Alf, now that the bridge is done and we have Alf on our side, we're gonna go and throw Brittany up here, as well as our 20 Pikmin, and do it the intended way. By the way, be super duper careful with how you handle your Pikmin here. Just drag the required amount. See, the thing is, you can actually totally get hit by that ball in mid-cutscene, so if I was Alf and I sat there with my Pikmin, they would have totally gotten killed.
Pikmin bowling.
Yeah, like, they literally actually would have died. Another thing is, like, if you have too many Pikmin, I don't believe I have the footage for it, but I had a weird glitch where, like, the 40 Pikmin were pushing the ball, and then the cutscene started, the ball began to roll, and the 20 behind me acted like they were in front and got crushed, and they died.
So they weren't, but they died anyway?
Yeah, they just, like, the cutscene started, and then I hear, like the sound of, like, Pikmin numbers dropping, and then I heard, and I'm like, what happened? Nothing happened. Why are you all dead? And then I realized, oh, if you put too many, the game, I guess, kind of freaks. So, we've been seeing a bunch of these flowers. These are called candy pop buds, and what they do is, if I throw some red or rock Pikmin into that yellow one, it sprouts out yellow seeds. It's basically a Pikmin converter. It's pretty neat. It has some applications. Me, personally, I don't use it too much, because I usually have exactly what I need. Or, I just don't need it. But I did think it's very useful.
Is it like in the last games where you can only convert a certain amount of Pikmin?
Pretty much, yeah. The candy pop bud will eventually wither and die. We're finding a lot of the things that Charlie left behind.
But he let them live.
He ate them. This little thing here is just constantly spitting out babies, but because I don't really care, I just kind of ignore it. They also, I believe, they don't really attack. And this thing seems to be the thing that may have consumed Charlie.
It's a moth crossed with a bulldog.
Yeah. It's considered to be a bat.
Oh yeah, I see that. Bats grow mushrooms on their ass.
I also like how Brittany has, like, no reaction to it. She's just like, what the fuck is that? Well, that's weird. Is that the captain? He got ugly. Anyways.
Smells the same.
Yeah, part of the reason why I stick with Brittany is because I think she has the best lines of the three. Charlie has some good ones too, though. We are running out of time. We have our day counter. We are missing 13 Pikmin.
Let's take on the boss.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a man. Let's do it. I'm gonna fight the boss at another time, because I have no time at all to do that, actually. So this is what I was talking about with your Pikmin are gonna not be able to transfer, like, fruits around. Like, yeah, sure, ideally you could have, like, had the Pikmin go to the cavern, but because the crystals were in the way, on top of this box being in the way, they just simply wouldn't be able to do it. The other Pikmin I was missing were the ones doing the grape trick, and I can't find that other one, so I, unfortunately... Well, I think we did a great job.
We didn't know his name.
We didn't know his name, I didn't name him, he probably wasn't even mine. We're just gonna go into Drake. So, the reason why it sucks when you leave a Pikmin behind is because the game makes you feel bad about it. That's a bulb bear. We didn't even see any bulb bears, but they were just like, yeah, that's what killed it.
They're not native to the region, he just smelled it.
He probably pulled out some jet propulsion from his feet and flew all the way over here. So again, with the rock Pikmin, because we have yellow Pikmin, we have their onion, and that onion is going to fuse with this one. So now we have 3 onions in one. So like I said before, I like usually aiming for all the fruits, and while we did find the plot, there just simply was not enough time in the day to actually fight it. No matter how many attempts I did, even in casual, like regular playthroughs, I find it impossible to actually save Charlie and gather fruits at the same time. You basically have to do one of both. And even then, even you breaking down all the crystals to get all the bridge pieces, if you're lucky to somehow able to get to the boss fight and beat it on this day, then, well, congratulations, you've done something that's nobody's ever done.
That's an appetizing name.
Yeah, it's literally impossible. I tried a lot of things to try to make it happen, but it's just so time-consuming. The only thing that allows you to do that fight early is the out-of-bounds trick. And even then, it's only useful for, speedruns. I am a fan of Cupid's grenades, and the fact that we have 2 of them. And now we have at least, I believe this makes it 11 extra days.
Pretty nice barrier.
Yeah. Now we're gonna drink the one of the 3 rations that we had when we got on this planet.
That's not juice, that's heavy water.
Yeah, it's probably just water and sprinkles, knowing the Copites. It doesn't usually do anything.
The ship is made of rind.
Yeah. Alf's grandfather was insane. It's fine. I lost 2 because when I was doing it casually, I did in fact manage to lose a red to a Joust Mite the same exact way, and I was like, okay, whatever. Just screw it.
Continuity.
Yeah. The signal is coming from that creature, and I think it's pretty clear that that's where Charlie went. On the next day, we're going to try to actually see if he's still alive and not just the little pile of bones.
I think even they would get digested.
Yeah. Remember how in Pikmin 2, how Louis was able to just survive on the Pikmin planet by himself? And all he did was, eat other bugs?
I don't think this is that situation.
Yeah, I don't think Charlie is as hardcore as Louis. Then again, Captain Charlie is more of a mission kind of guy, and Louis is just a freak. I love Louis, don't get me wrong. I think he's funny. I do like his personality. We will be seeing him later on. Kind of hit or miss for me for what they do with him, but we'll be seeing him.
But freak is the right word.
Yeah, keep in mind, it's hinted that he was the one controlling the final boss in 2.
So he's got a grudge against Olimar.
Yeah, he's got something. He's got a bit of a screw loose. I guess that could be a nickname. Screwy Louie. He's just a guy that hangs around and we don't know why we have him.
Like some weird Tex Avery character.
I mean, have you seen the faces he could make?
Duck season! Rabbit season! Me season.
Louie.
Season.